What we have here is yet another unfortunate camcorder acquisition. My apologies in advance for it being upside down. You can see JVC for VHS Compact Video Movie System Carrying Case. Nice looking carrying case. I mean, it's not in perfect condition, but it's certainly passable. Uh-oh. Can't get it open. That would be because it is locked, and I do have the key. The key kind of doesn't work very well, but I do have it. Let's see if we can unlock it here. Open the case up to reveal the contents, although from the title of the video you'll already know what the contents are. This is a very well laid out case. See here, it actually has a layout diagram right here explaining where all the various things are supposed to go. I don't have the cassette adapter, but I do have pretty much everything else. So here is the power supply cable, and where the compact cassette adapter would normally go, I'm just storing the RF modulator for now. Unfortunately, considering the large number of pieces of paper in here for labels for VHS-C tapes, this probably had tapes with it originally, but they had to be removed thanks to a lovely law with respect to privacy that we've got here that prevents thrift stores from selling such things. There is the list price. I did not pay anywhere close to that. I would not have paid anywhere close to that. But I managed to talk them down to $6 on this. Here's the battery. It's actually an aftermarket battery. Go ahead and see there. Again and again, nickel metal hydride. Of course, it's totally dead. There's the camera itself, which we'll get out in a second. And last but not least, we got quite a few cables, not the least of which is the AV cable, as well as the power supply. Let's get the camcorder out and look at it. Here is the camcorder itself, which, as you can see, is in decent condition. I mean, it's obviously not perfect. It's got some signs of use. Actually, whoever bought this definitely got their money's worth out of it, because some of the controls definitely have wear on them. A lot more wear than my unit had. Unfortunately, this one is probably yet another one of those cases where I'm not going to end up keeping it, because capacitor plug has taken over. I can smell this thing even when it's powered off. Now you got to cut it right up next to it in order to smell it, but you can smell that telltale, those of you who know bad capacitor smell, that very fish-like smell. It's very, you can tell, we'll just put it that way. And this one's got it in spades, unfortunately. It worked in the store. It seems not to work nearly so well now, so it's possible that my using it, or also possibly the fact that it was out in the cold on the trip back, that may have affected it negatively. I'm not sure. Whatever the case may be, it is here. What really attracted me to it, honestly, is the fact that the foam windscreen here is completely intact. You do get a titler. Really, it's just an overlay. Some focus controls, white balance, shutter speed. There's your counter controls here, as well as a status LCD, which is a cool thing to see. You get an 8x zoom lens, digital superimpose, that's what they call that. The titler is just a superimposer, really. High resolution CCD. Again, this would have been a really early CCD camera. Does it actually say on it when it was manufactured? My other one did. I don't know. This one doesn't seem to. Although my guess is that it was probably manufactured in the late 1980s. I think mine was manufactured in 1988. Maybe the power supply would actually tell me about this one. Regardless, it's got your usual set of controls for one of these cameras. It actually has an alarm, which is an interesting feature. And the one interesting thing I'll point out about these cameras, these JVCs, JVC was fond of this. Zenith cameras that base themselves around JVCs like this one are the same way, but what you do, they don't have a camera mode and a VTR mode. When you turn them on, they go straight into VTR mode. In order to get the camera to come up, well, if you want to record, you hit the record button. That will bring the camera up, put it into record pause mode, the so-called camera mode, and then you'd hit the record button again and it would record. Or you could hit this insert monitor button here without a tape inserted, and it will also do the same thing. Again, we got our usual set of controls, nothing too fancy here, other than the proprietary connection there, which would go to the RF modulator or the composite video cable. The battery would go here. There's your power supply connection there. GR-60 compact video movie on the front. Here's your lens cap and the infrared focusing system right there. This is, being a primitive camera, it's basically almost completely manual. You get your manual focus ring here, which is an actual legitimate manual focus ring, and the manual zoom. It does have power zoom, obviously, but you're probably going to want to use this. And this one actually has a weak motor for the power zoom. The one thing I'd never really liked about these JVC camcorders is that the macro is triggered by pushing it this way. You bump it to the microphone. I much prefer the Sony way of doing things, where this zooms in and you push this and push it down to go into the macro mode. I think there were other camcorders that did it that way as well, but they're all pretty much based on the same design. Get your viewfinder and some more controls up here. Off and on record time. Date and time. That's your counter, or actually I don't think that's your counter, but regardless, your date and time, setting, and all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this camera in. We'll give it a quick little test, see what it records to tape, if anything, and see where we go from there. So I'll be right back, thanks to the magic of videotape. Alright, this is the result. Looks like we have now completely lost it. The lens cap is not on. Yeah, I think, well, it's sort of there. It's trying to come back. I don't know if it's recording audio. You hear that motor really not doing so well. But yeah, this camcorder worked, and now it doesn't work at all. So I guess there's one thing. So I can't even really show you the camcorder that I was using to record this first part of the video, because you won't be able to see it. But people always accost me on my videos about that stuff. It was a Panasonic Camcorder PV-11D, so now you know. I've had it together for a bit at least. Well, thus ends yet another disappointing entry in my camcorder collection. Which is really too bad, because I like the styling of this one, and at the end of this video I'm going to include some footage from the other one that I had. And I think you can see that other than the fact that it's a little dark, which is something that I attribute to the fact that it had bad capacitors, the picture quality, the color saturation in particular, was just really good. I really liked it, and of course I liked the styling. So I was really kind of hoping this one would work. But alas, it really wasn't meant to be, I guess. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. And I hope to see you next time, where hopefully we'll have something a little bit happier. Till then. Alright. We should now be recording with the JVC GR-80 camcorder. There you can see some of the zoom functionality. It's also, of course, completely manual. Let's see if I can turn that time off. I wonder if I could set the time now. Well, I guess I can. See, for whatever reason I couldn't set the time earlier, but now I guess I can. interesting. So today is, I think today is the 7th. Today is the 7th of February, 2016. I guess while I'm doing that, we can have a look around. It's a little bit uncomfortable to hold it this way. It's 1:44 p.m. at this instant. Alright, so there's our time. I can't turn it back on. Oh, well that would explain that. I had to press the mode and turn it on that way. But there you can get a general idea as to what kind of quality this camera's got. It could be worse, but it could certainly be a whole lot better. I'm not going to be able to put that into focus. I don't think so. This thing doesn't have a very wide-ranging focus, so... There's manual focus mode, actually. Alright. The different white balance schemes. It's telling me low light, even though I'm not quite sure how true that is. I can really see the flicker on the CRT monitor. I think it's recording anyways. My goal with this camera is to use it on my live stream as a roving camera, because it looks like it would probably be good for that. I don't have any real reason to be doing zooming with the roving camera. Although, I could probably put it on that tripod that's sitting right there, and use it for that instead, because I definitely don't have any reason to zoom with that. Well, anyways, let's do our typical camcorder test, shall we? Yes, every time I have a camcorder, I test it with that. I'm not sure why, but it's become a regular thing now. I can hear something making noise in the lens assembly, so it's probably actually doing some kind of focus. Yes, I added a floppy drive, but you can't really see it. There's too much junk in the way. Let me try something, because I think I'm so smart. Let's see what that did. Should have paused. Which actually makes it better than the Sony Handycam, because at least I don't have to stop and restart the recording every time I want to do something. Here we can get a look. This iMac. I can actually test out the macro mode. Get an even closer look at the iMac if we want to. Here we can see. Yeah, it's not easy to focus this thing. It's kind of a beast, if you ask me. But anyways, I think that's really it. There's not much else I need to do. The battery, unfortunately, is not exactly the most functional thing in the world. I'm just going to go ahead and shut this down. Now, oh, right, the title. This is what the titler does. Oops. I don't think that's quite what that's supposed to do. It has a cool effect, but I don't think that's the intended effect. I'm seeing some, I actually see some, convergence problems in the CRT viewfinder, so that suggests to me that it was used. Oh, hello. Yeah, that's how you break cameras right there. I haven't had a shower yet. Oh dear, how long have I been recording for? Wow, 83 minutes. I hope this will fit. I think that's 80. I think that's actually 83 seconds. But anyways, so I think that's pretty much it. I don't really need to do anything else with this camera. You've seen what it can do. There was definitely some lost footage that came along with it, and then you can see the bedspread and all of that various stuff. Overall, I think it'll do well on the show, but I think, let's see, this thing's got a fader. I should experiment with that. Of course, I can press the fader button. So we'll see what happens when I turn this thing off. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then.